සුබ දවසක් හැමෝටම. අද තමයි එකක් තමයි කැනඩාවේ ආදිවාසීන්ගේ දවස. ඒකට පොඩි සෙලබ්‍රේෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා 12 ඉඳන් 3 වෙනකන් සොම්බකේ පාක් එකේ. ඊට පස්සේ 3න් පස්සේ ආයි විලිඩේ සයිට් එකේ කියන්නේ Yellowknife First Nation ලගේ සයිට් එකේ තියෙන පොඩි සෙලබ්‍රේෂන් එකක්. ඉතින් අපි බලමු. ඊට අමතරව අද තමයි කැනඩාවේ දිගම දවස. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉර එළිය තියෙන වැඩිම වෙලාව. අද ඉර උදා වුණේ 3:29ට කොහෙද උදේ. ඉර බහින්නේ 11:39ට. ඉතින් අපි බලමු අද එච්චර වෙලාවක් එළිය තියෙනවා.
Start off with prayer. Creator, I thank you for this beautiful day today. I ask you for your beautiful, loving light to shine on all of this happening here, as well as these days today. Please give us blessings. You want me to bring them for you?
Well, later. I'm not company.
Also, bless all the other ethnic and non-ethnic groups that are present here today. May your loving light shine on all of us today and continue to do so always. Creator, I'm asking you to keep us safe from all harm. I'm asking to keep safe all the travelers that have journeyed here to participate. I'm asking to keep these travelers safe on the journey home. I'm asking that this food that we're about to receive is blessed in your loving light, and that this food nourishes our bodies to be whole and full of your loving light. Bless the hands that have prepared this food, we pray. Thank you.
Our home and native land, true patriot
you, Pito. I'd like to say our house band here is a Silver Eagle Band, and they're going to be entertaining us all day today. We do have some speeches to get out of the way, if you just kind of bear with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Honorable Margaret Tong, Commissioner of the NWT, to say a few words.
Merci so tenika jo titsene nesunai ut o jo letsete jia merci netha. Good morning, good afternoon, friends and relatives. I'm grateful that we are blessed with a beautiful day as we celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. And I'm grateful for a new day that has been gifted to us. It is with great honor and respect that I acknowledge we are in the territory of the Dene, Métis, and Inuit of this great land. Along with our non-Indigenous neighbors, we are grateful to live, work, celebrate, and be welcome as visitors on your sacred lands. It is with great pleasure that I address you on this great day, National Day of Celebration, honoring and learning about the Indigenous people of this great territory and of Canada. I am proud to have been asked to share with you on this very special day, National Indigenous Peoples Day. I am the 17th Commissioner of the NWT and the third woman in this role. And I'm a proud Indigenous woman. Merci. I am a proud Indigenous woman born on the land at Red Knife River along the mighty Decho, aka Mackenzie River. I live, work, and raise my family in this beautiful Northwest Territories we call home. Today is a national holiday, a day to spend with your families and friends. When it was first declared a national holiday by Governor General Roméo LeBlanc in 1996, it was meant to embrace and to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of Indigenous peoples and applaud their contributions to society. Every day, we continue to share our knowledge, our experiences, our challenges, our traditions, our ceremonies to all of you and all of Canada. As Indigenous people, we have made many contributions without which society would be profoundly different. Our contributions reflects all we've been through, yet survive to guide people to hear our truth, accept and foster a deeper understanding. We have contributed in the making of modern society. To name a couple, sports that are based on traditional games, medicines used in the world today are originated from traditional plants, remedies used by Indigenous people for thousands of years and around the world. Nature is our pharmacy and the plants our medicines. As an Indigenous person today is a day to remind ourselves the need to and make it our responsibility to promote, preserve, and protect our identity. It is to recommit ourselves to the education of our youth, our children in our Indigenous languages, our culture. Give them a presence at our ceremonies and at our traditions. Our role is to instill within them a sense of pride and dignity, and to embrace our rich heritage and history. In this heritage and history, we celebrate our successes, our growth, our artists, our musicians, our designers, our chefs, our healers, our ceremonies and tradition. Most importantly, our resiliency to continue to move forward in the spirit of true reconciliation. It is time to share with our children the knowledge of past generations and give them the hope of present and future opportunities and prosperity. It is a day for us to reflect and respectfully move forward as a people, and to be extremely proud of the accomplishments we have made in ourselves, our communities, in our territory, and in our country, Canada. Today, there are events and festivities celebrated in Indigenous communities and many cities across Canada to commemorate the special day. As Commissioner of the Northwest Territories, I am pleased to celebrate this day with all of you at Sambagay Civic Park in Yellowknife. Masicho, enjoy the day, enjoy the goodness and the kindness you have within yourself. Masicho.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have our Honorable MP present here today to say a few words. He's another politician and he's got another date, so he's going to make it short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you, and hello to everyone. Like the Commissioner, I was also born on the banks of the Mackenzie River, and everything that the Commissioner covered was what I was going to say, so I'll keep it really short. I'm actually here to enjoy the fish fry, and to be able to say hello to everybody. And it's so good to be here. To be here in person to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. And to get together to honor the rich cultures. Our rich cultures are traditions that are unique, and the very important contributions that the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit have made to this country, and all parts of our country. But it's more than that. It's more than just honoring Indigenous people. It's an opportunity for all of us to learn and to reflect on the ways in which colonization has and continues to affect our Indigenous way of life, and also to celebrate the resiliency of Indigenous people. 2 years ago, the government dedicated September 30th as a federal statutory day to observe as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. But as we all know here in the North, sometimes the federal government can be a little bit late to the game at times. And as the NDPT legislator declared way back, and I was part of that, we decided to make a holiday of June 21st, the National Aboriginal Day, which was called way back then. And that was way in 2001. Today, we have a very beautiful day. We have some fish to eat and an opportunity to get together It's an opportunity to celebrate our rich and diverse cultures and the wealth of traditions and lifestyles and languages that we bring to this our people and this country, and of course food. I mentioned before, that's one of the reasons I like coming here. The Métis sure know how to cook fish, and I take every opportunity to come enjoy that. I wanted to congratulate Mark on his new position and say thank you to Bill for the many years that he's contributed to this organization, and to all the people that have worked to make this day a celebration to the North Slave Métis, and I hope everybody enjoys this feast. So happy National Indigenous Day, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. So we have a call out here for Mr. Gerald Antoine. Is he, if he's out there somewhere, make your way down here, please. We have our next guest speaker, our mayor, Rebecca Alty.
Thank you. On behalf of the City of Yellowknife, it is my honor to join you here today for National Indigenous Peoples Day. I'd like to thank the North Slave Métis Alliance for hosting today's events, and I'd like to extend a congratulations and best wishes to the newly elected Board of Directors. President Mark Whitford, who unfortunately had his flight canceled. He was coming back from Ottawa, so he's not here to join us today. I know he's, I'm sure, missing us tremendously as he's in airports. Vice President Alan Harmon Jr., Secretary Treasurer Robert Mercurdy, Directors Stephanie Bulmer, Taylin Guibault, and Jonathan Whitford. They were just elected last week, so let's give them a big round of applause. As an elected official, I know how much time and energy it takes, and your passion and dedication to the community is remarkable. Thank you for stepping up and being such great leaders. And for today's festivities, I'd also like to thank all of the Métis, Inuit, and First Nations residents who are here today sharing their art, food, music, and dance. As you're walking around Sambake today, you'll also see that we have new banners that feature the incredible work of Cody Fennell. Thank you, Cody, for the bright and beautiful art pieces. And if you haven't participated yet, and you're looking for something to do tonight, the library is holding a reading challenge this month to celebrate National Indigenous Heritage Month. The challenge involves items like reading a book by Richard Van Camp, or a book set in the Northwest Territories or by an NWT author, a book published by Inhabit Media, looking up a word in an Indigenous dictionary, and many more. You can visit the city's website or the public library for more information and a contest form. Once again, I'm looking forward to today's fish fry and the incredible artists who are performing. Thank you once again to our hosts, the North Slave Métis Alliance, the volunteers, the performers, and the sponsors for putting on such an incredible event. Masicho to everybody for also coming out. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor. Next on my list, I'd like to call on Mr. Alan Harmon, our newly elected North Slave Métis Alliance VP. Alan.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Good afternoon. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day out there. Beautiful sunshine. The fish are complete. Everyone's eating, so wonderful. Nice to see everyone out in such a large crowd. It's great. I'm here on behalf of the leadership of the North Slave Métis Alliance. Our newly elected Mark, as mentioned earlier, can't be here as he's dealing with some important business out of town. So I'm filling in for him. For those who do not know me, my name's Alan Harmon Jr., member and new Vice President of the North Slave Métis Alliance. I want to thank everyone for coming out and celebrating National Indigenous Peoples Day with us. It's great to see all the diversity and cultures here to celebrate together, a time for all Canadians, regardless of our culture, to look, listen, and learn from each other based on respect and inclusiveness. We live in a diverse and beautiful country here in Canada, and it's important we acknowledge and learn about the First Peoples of Canada, the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. I'd first like to make a shout out to all the volunteers that have come out the past few days and today with the fish fry. It's the volunteers that make this event such a success. Shout out to our team at the NSMA in particular Joanne Taylor, for all of her tireless work behind the scenes to make this event happen. Really appreciate it. Let's give her a round of applause, please. It's a huge undertaking, and we appreciate all the help from you all. Really do. I want to take a shout out to the diamond mines for the continued contribution as well to make this event possible. Today, as Canadians, is a chance to reflect and celebrate the rich and diverse cultures of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples across the North and Canada, a celebration of all Indigenous cultures. Today is a day to reflect on the persistence and sacrifice our ancestors have made that allows us to experience the freedom we have today. A day to understand the hardships that have happened in the past and the hardships we continue to face today. A form of survival. Today and every day is a day to reflect on where we came from and taking pride in who we are. Today is a day to honor our ancestors, our survivors, the children that didn't make it home, missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. A day to honor our knowledge holders, our elders, and our future, our youth. What does it mean to be Indigenous? To me, I think of my identity, my history, heritage, and culture, my spiritual connection with the land, animals, and water. I think of the importance of land stewardship and cultural preservation. I think of knowledge being passed down from elders to the next generation so it's not lost. I think of harvesting, hunting, fishing, trapping, hide tanning, wood harvesting, and providing country meat for my elders and members. I think of passing down this knowledge to the next generation, my kids. This is who I am and what it means to be Indigenous. I take great pride in my Indigenous culture and who I am. Days like today coming together like this, we understand we are one people and our communities are joined together. Our histories will come together and we will better understand each other more. And as a leader and voice for the future, one of my main goals moving forward is to build better relationships amongst our Indigenous neighbors, in particular the Clecho and Yellowknife Dene and other Indigenous groups across the North. Continued colonization from the Crown and politics has divided our communities whence once in the past we used to work together, share, and trade. We need to go back to that. We will be stronger off when we work together, a form of reconciliation. This will build a better future for our children and for the NWT in Canada. With that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and supporting this great event. I look forward to it every year. And I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe summer. So Masi Cho, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. So we're going to ask our band, our great band here, to play us a few tunes before our next, our jiggers up here. Thank you.
Crazy about Mercury, oh, crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. The girl I love, I stole her from a friend. He got lucky, stole her back again. She heard he had a Mercury, but she's crazy about a Mercury. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. Didn't stay long, bought herself a Mercury, got me cruising home. She's crazy about a Mercury, oh, she's crazy about a Mercury. you what I do. I go downtown and buy Mercury too. I'm crazy about a Mercury. Lord, I'm crazy about a Mercury. Gonna buy me a Mercury and cruise it up and down the road. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury.
People's Day. What the hell's going on here? I think those guys clap better when they're in that lineup way over there, because they don't have any bannock in their hands and no corn and beans and fish. So anyhow, it's good to be out here again, and this is probably about our 16th year coming out here. If COVID didn't happen, it would have been 18, but we had a break during COVID, and it's always great to come to the territories. On my mom's side, we are French, but we had our family comes from the LeBlanc family from up here, and for us, our group was started back in 1985 by my mother, Georgina Donald, at the Canadian Native Friendship Centre in Edmonton. So next, in 2 years, we'll be celebrating our 40th anniversary as a group. And then coming out here on National Indigenous Peoples Day is very important for us, because this event was started by the North Slave Métis Alliance. And one thing that Bill Lingy back then and Mark right now, one thing they believe is trying to keep our Métis culture and our Métis history in place. And Métis people played a big part up here in the Northwest Territories when it came to being a part of the fur trade of the Hudson Bay Company and the Northwest Company. And that's a little bit about our history as Métis people here in Canada, because our people started back when the fur trade started, back in the 1800s, when the first Europeans started coming across to North America. They came to into Canada especially, and it was just like the oil trade is right now. Oil is the world producer right now, but back in the old days it was the fur companies that were working here. And the fur companies and the Europeans that came down here, when they saw how plentiful our North America was, these people decided to stay and make a life here in North America, here in Canada. And then when they decided to look around and to think about moving here and staying here, of course they were looking for a woman, and they saw all these beautiful First Nations women and Dene women and Inuit women, and they married them and they created our own families, and that's how we got the name Métis. But back then we weren't called Métis, we were called half-breeds, and a new culture started. And back then, when these Europeans decided to stay in Canada, what they wanted to do is, when they had families, they wanted to teach their kids the dances from their home country, whether it was from France or England or Scotland. They wanted to keep their culture alive. But a lot of times when they're trying to teach the dances to their kids and also to the communities, they never had enough dancers to make a group that could do a Scottish dance or a French dance. So they had to improvise, and by improvising, they had to use less dancers, but try to make those big dances look the same with less dancers. So the way they improvised created new dances for here, which are Métis dances. So we're going to show you some of those traditional Métis dances today, and we're going to throw in a few more. And I don't know if you guys have been here before, but we also include the crowd to come and join us for a few dances, and we'll teach you a couple nice, easy ones for the afternoon here. So we're going to be up here twice, but we're going to start off with our younger dancers here,
This first dance that we're going to do is called the Reel of Four. So we're going to start off with the Reel of Four, and this dance here is a version actually of the Reel of Eight, or the Eights Reel is what they called it in Scotland. And in my family, my dad was a Scottish Métis, and my mother was a French Métis. So my dad is the one that taught us how to dance in the kitchen, and I'll tell you that story in a little while. And we're so glad to have on the stage with us a real good fiddle player that always joined us for about the last 5 years. And let's give him a big hand here. James. Thank you, sir. Come back here, you. Ready? Yeah. So here we go with the Reel of Four. So the next dance we're going to do for you is called the Broom Dance. And back many years ago, my ex-wife left me. She took everything, but she left her broom behind. That's all I got. But then when she finally realized what she did, she left the broom behind, and after that she didn't have a ride to bingo because she used to ride her broom to bingo all the time. Eh? So I got her back one way anyhow. So anyhow, this dance here is a dance that's been in our community for a long time. And this dance was taught to us by a guy and his family. The Arcan family used to do this dance, and it was a dance that was only done by certain families in the community, and they didn't want to share it with anybody because it was a family dance. And this dance here is called the Broom Dance, and when the dancers do this one here, they pretend they know how to sweep. These kids don't know how to clean up the house, but they sweep the broom first, and then they put it out like this, and then they put it through their legs. So when they put it through their legs, what they do is they're making the infinity sign, and that's our Métis flag. And this flag was one of the very first flags of Canada. It was flown during the fur trade. The red ones with the red background, meant that you were with the Hudson Bay Company, and the blue ones that we have on here were for the Northwest Company. And both companies recognized that they had a lot of Métis working for them, and they were blazing the trail out west to open all these forts. And if you look at especially the territories here, how many towns do you have with the name Fort in front of them? And that was all started by the forts that were developed through the Northwest Company and the Hudson Bay Company. So That's the first part of the dance. The second part is we went to Prince George back in about 1989, and this elder was out there, and he asked us to learn this dance because it was in his family for 5 generations, and he had nobody to pass it down to. So he asked my son Brent over here. Brent is one of our first dancers of our group back in from 1985. And he asked Brent, can you learn this dance because I want to see it continue, and I'd like to pass it down to you. So it took Brent about maybe 10 minutes to learn how to do it properly. And this dance here, oh, this guy's here, wants to have a fight. Anyhow, that's how this dance developed. It was back in the 1600s. The Scots, see? The Scots used to go to battle and go to war. And after a battle and after a victory, they'd have a big feast, just like today we're having a fish fry. And then, you know how these Scots are, they like to have some rum and some whiskey and bourbon. And then what they would do is they would, right, Keesik, right. So what they used to do is, put down. So they put it down on the ground. Oh, pick it up. They would they would put the sword on the ground. Okay. They put it on the ground, and they do shuffles across. You show them how to do a shuffle. They shuffle across, and as many shuffles as they did across the sword meant how many people they killed in battle. So that was their bragging rights, and those Scots were real big braggers. So this dance here, you're going to see a couple of different styles. Also, Brent used to dance with Irish dancers in Edmonton and practice with them. And they taught him a Scottish or an Irish version of this. And what they do is they put the broom between their legs and they do hops over the back of it. So you're going to see 3 different styles here. And I'll try to keep this up. Okay, you come over here. So Red River Jig, and there we go. I hate it when these women fall in love with me when I'm dancing. Boy, oh boy. Good thing my wife isn't here. So anyhow, I'd like to thank the commissioner who came up here to say an opening prayer. And it's good to have our elders' blessings when we start these kind of celebrations, because we're here to have fun, and we're here to do a celebration of our culture and our values, and all of this goes along with the ways that we brought up our group here. Like I was saying, our group has been together for 38 years. It was started by my mother, and my dad used to teach us in the kitchen, and on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. And it was done in our kind of traditional way, because my dad used to have a little fiddle tape and a cassette recorder, and he had a bottle of rum, and then he would have his music playing in the kitchen. And if you happened to walk in the kitchen at the wrong time when that music was going, he'd make you dance along with him for a long time. And then somebody else was crazy enough to come into the kitchen. That was your reprieve, and they had to dance with him. So all of us learned from the kitchen. And my son Brent back here, when he was small, my dad used to teach him in the kitchen, and he always tell Brent to smile when he's jigging. And all we had was this big oven with a big black screen on it. He couldn't even see himself, but he said, "Look, there's a mirror. Smile in the mirror." So my son used to smile. He couldn't see himself anyhow, but that's the way he was taught. So every time you see him dance, he always has a smile on his face, because he remembers what his papa told him when he was a young boy, to always smile and be proud of his dance and his culture. So the next dance we're going to do is a 7-step. And the 7-step is a dance my mom loved, because my mom was French. And the 7-step is a French dance. And back in 1989, they had the World University Games in Edmonton. Let's give these dancers a big hand. The next set, we're going to come back and we're going to teach the Red River jig. Where's your mommy? Right here. Okay. Thank you for dancing. So we're going to end right now with the Red River jig, the Métis national anthem. And then we're going to have the hoop dancer, I think, coming up here next. Or is it the Hello? Oh, okay. Danny drummers, get ready. You guys are up next. And this dance. Okay. Is there a woman named Joyce up here? It's her dad's birthday, and she wanted to come and have a dance with me, and for her dad. So Joyce, come on up here. Where are you? Come on over here, Joyce. Hey, you got a tooth just like mine.
Sorry. Hi.
I'm the guy that talks on the mic.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do a jig with her because she's celebrating her dad's birthday. She doesn't know how to jig, but she wants to try. So let's give her a big hand. Here we go. Okay, you guys are just coming down. Come on out. We just graduated grade 12 this year. We're very proud of her. He graduated grade 12 last year. And also we have a few more dancers here that also just graduated, so we're very proud of these guys getting out of grade 12. Back when I was young, we just needed a grade 9 education to get a good job. And that's what I got, I think I got a grade 6. Anyhow, that's why I'm nowhere. So here we go. Red River J. Show them what you got there. Let's clap along out there. Let's make some noise in the park. Come on. National Indigenous Day. Come on. This is my grandson Styles right there. And this is Ebony Carrizo. Both of them are also graduates this year. Grade 12 graduates. Let's give them a big hand. Keep those hands clapping, come on. This is mother and son right here. This is my granddaughter Kendall. This is her son Kisik. This is my great-grandson right here. He's 3 years, going to be 3 years old in a couple months. Sometimes you don't want to dance. My oldest son Brent, he's the first leader in the group that we had back in 1985. He's a 7-time Canadian Red River Jig champion. This is his daughter right here, Paige. She's also a graduate from the University of Alberta last year. There we go.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This ever good? Really good, huh? Yeah. We're gonna start our drumming here, but we need more drummers. A lot of people are still on the lake. All of them were checking nets for getting ready for that Willow Day site there. We have our celebration and the Aboriginal Day at the Willow Day site is across from the Yellowknife River Park. And a lot of people are still getting ready for that. So some of the drummers are out in the lake and some of them are driving here right now. Some of them are walking here. Make sure you open the space, let them walk faster. We come from Deda, is across the bay there, and D Low is right down the hill. And for thousands of years, Yellowknife's Denny, Yellowknife here is named after Yellowknife's Denny First Nation. Like when when people are living here, we're living at the Willie Day. The Yellowknife River is called Willie Day. And Willie Day, that's a Yellowknife Bay. And we went up all the way up to the tundra every year for caribou, because the fall hides for the caribou are really strong. We use it for the drums, we use it for bags, we use it for string and clothing and everything. So that's why we travel up there, and we always made sure that everybody took care of each other. So like in July and August we'll make dry fish all summer, and then we'll go up to the Willie Day site, to the Yellowknife River. We'll go there, we'll fix the canoes, we'll fix all the arrows, bows, spears, and everything. We'll get ready for traveling. And we had all that dry fish, really dry, so it's really light to carry. And when we traveled, we all traveled together. And the dogs, we let them loose on the side there, so the dogs will run on the side of the river to keep up with us, and then we'll go all the way up the river, up the Yellowknife River to a tundra. And once we're Yellowknife Dene, we're Tatsontine, we're Copper Indians, Red Knife Indians they call us, and then they call us Yellow Knives. And we went up all the way up the Copper Mine River, we got copper, and we made knives and tools and implements, lots of things we needed, and we traded with people from up there as well too, like Satu and Nunavut, and lots of different people that came together to trade. So all times we always had everything as much as we needed, and we shared a lot with all our visitors that came. And especially up here, everybody all that First Nation, we all lived on the east side of Willie Che, the Yellowknife Bay. And all the east side is all old villages. On this side here, there's not supposed to be anything. For thousands of years, all the elders and leaders, they said, nobody come this side, nobody live here, because it's full of life, full of animals. This lake here used to be lots of animals, lots of berries, lots of blueberries, lots of nundla cranberries, lots of everything on this side. And there used to be a lot of different medicine that grew at Range Lake and here as well too, so, but they don't grow anymore. But a lot of times we're always listening to our elders, listening to our leaders, and making sure we follow the rules as best we can. We follow nature's rules, we follow people rules, we follow our own society rules. So a lot of times we need to make sure that we communicate as much as we can and share as much as we can. Because for thousands of years at Yellowknife Dene, we're living on this big lake. As we call it the Teen Day. Toonie Day. A big lake, because that's where we are, big lake people. There's a few more drummers still out there. You guys, put on your hamburger, put on your fish, get over here. Get your wives hugs and then get over here. When we're holding these drums here, guys, we have to be sober. We have to make sure that we're clear in our mind, clear in our hearts. A lot of people have a lot of these effects from residential schools, a lot of the effects from different things that happen on the land. So you have to be sober, you have to be clean to hold these drums. If you know you're not clean, you know you're not sober, you do not touch these drums. Always like that. They always have rules. Elders or parents, they gave us these drums, so we hold it strong. When we're drumming, we're holding it on balance. We're breathing right. We're breathing this fresh air in and making sure that we give thanks to the Creator for everything we have. These drums are sacred for us because we're here for thousands of years. And all of our families, our elders are going to be here thousands more, and we have to share what we have. with us Dene people, we're from this area here for thousands of years. We have nowhere else to go. We're not going to go back to Europe, France, or Africa, or wherever. This is our home, so this we have to maintain as much as possible. We have to take care of everything as much as possible. So that's why we need to make sure things are done the right way. Things are done the honorable way. Like our chiefs are not here. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of times we always have to make sure we share information as much as possible. As with the drums and with our spirituality, we have to make sure we take care of each other. So we're going to do a prayer song right now. The first song is a prayer song. It's singing about angels in the sky watching over us when each of us were on our journeys. And then after that, we'll do a few drum dance songs. We hope everybody comes in and dances. But the first song is a prayer song. Respect to the drummers, respect to the elders that taught us for thousands of years. Everybody just stand up, remove your hats. You say your own prayer in your own way, but we're going to sing this song, singing about angels watching over us. Masi. Okay, we're doing a drum dance song now. You guys can come and join us and drum dance. Make sure you're dancing, make sure you do it for the right reasons. You dance for your ancestors, dance for old grannies and grandpas, you dance for your families, and you share in the fun and spirituality with the dancing and the drumming. Masi.
First off, we want to thank Creator for bringing us here. We're thanking our Mushums and Kokums and all the ancestors for giving us the honor to be here. We want to thank you, all of you, for inviting us to be here. And I want to, first off, say a few words in Cree, and then we'll start our program. How Tohtawinan Krimanto, Kananasko, Nuta Kapiwisia, Kapis Kanawimia, Uti Kapindumgoya, Tapi Uta Nimituya, Lumina Pixpataya Koka, Kiota Isinawak, Naskumao Joanne Taylor, Uti Kapindumgoya, Naskumao Kakiota Isinawak, Kapirotio, Kakiokiwa Kanstutawik, Naskum now. In Creator's name, I'm very honored to be here, and I want to thank Joanne Taylor for inviting us to be here. And let's give Joanne a big hand. And I also want to thank Lyle Donald, who brought the Métis dancers, and he was instrumental in having us come back here. We were here once before, a few years ago, to come and perform for you, and we're so happy to be here again. So first off, we're going to start off with a grand entry, and all the dancers that are going to be here, we're called the Kabastagaw Patstamuak. We're the Edmonton traditional powwow dancers, but we're also mostly from Alexander First Nation, which is just outside of Edmonton, and we're all Cree. So we're very honored again to be here. So we're going to start off with an honor song. It's called a drum song, and in our culture, that's our national anthem, the honor song. So if you want to stand, that's up to you, and if not, that's entirely up to you too. So first off, I want to invite our drummers, William Arcan, who's from Alexander, and he's going to start us off with a drum song.
Thank you. That's the drum song. You can all sit down now, please, and thanks. Marcan, I come from the Alexander First Nations. Usually we will have a big drum, but I couldn't bring my drum this time, so we're using hand drums. It's my nephew right here, and we're going to sing them in for, this is what you would call a grand entry.
Thank you. So we have a couple of dancers that have joined us. They're from Edmonton. And I'll introduce them as they come to dance for you. We also have a traditional dancer who's from here. And she's come to join us. And we're very happy to have her. So we're going to start off with our grass dancer. In our culture, that's when we do our powwow ceremony, this is the first dance that we do. And the grass dancer dances to bless the ground. Although this is covered, it's still Mother Earth. And he's there to do the dance to bless the ground and ask Creator to protect us. Because quite often when we're dancing, we need that protection. So our grass dancer is Braden Arcan, and he's also from Alexander First Nation. And we're very happy that he was able to join us on this trip. So he's doing the grass dance, as I said, to bless this particular area of the ground, but also wherever you are, wherever you're sitting. Some of you are on Mother Earth, right on the grass. And that's very important that we acknowledge Mother Earth, especially at this particular day. It's our day, right? It's Sinhio Day. So I want to remind each and every one of us and each and every one of you that every day is Indigenous Day for us. So we want to thank Mother Earth for that. So let's give a big hand for Braden as he does the grass dance.
There's some out of retirement for you all.
Okay, I just have to collect my thoughts here. The next dance we're going to do is going to be by our young man, our boy. And in these days and times of all our children, all of us parents going through a hard time, and we want to acknowledge all of our children. This is my grandson. It's Stanley Arcan III. He's been dancing since he could walk. And he's come here, although he has a sore arm Stanley, put your arm up. He was in pain, but he wanted to come anyway. So he wanted to experience his first plane ride. And he really enjoyed it. So he's going to do what's called a chicken dance. And his mom, Joanna, is going to speak to it. But before he does that, I really want you to send your love to Stanley, because every child matters. And we follow a traditional lifestyle that we make our children the most important part of who we are, especially as mothers and grandmothers. And I know each and every one of you that are out there, all you women, all you mums and cookums and aunties and sisters, we know how we feel about our kids. So let's give a big hand to his mom, Joanna, and to speak to what the chicken dance is about.
Princess. Sagastino is school in Sikas, and that means my name is Rising Sun Woman. That's my cultural name. And I'm Cree, a squirrel from Alexander First Nation in Alberta, just outside of Edmonton. I think we're so far that we take for granted where we are, and we expect everybody to know which province we're from. But with that being said, I just want to explain a little bit of this chicken dance. It's actually, from my understanding and the teaching we got, this wasn't a Cree dance, and there's some argument. And this dance was passed to my son because he was originally a traditional dancer with the big bustle on his back. And instead, I guess if you could turn around, the bustle on his back is to mimic the prairie chicken, the wild prairie chicken. And I just want to, I know my son is hurt. 2 years ago, a few days ago from when he hurt his arm, he actually had a very bad accident on a trampoline, and he snapped his kneecap backwards. And he was in a wheelchair for quite a while. And the reason why I want to acknowledge this today is because we all have somewhere we come from. We all have our sacred garden, our traditional medicines. And I myself am a nurse from my community. I have been taught Western medicine. I work in hospitals and health centers. And they told us that my son would never walk again the way that he was supposed to. And because he's so young, he damaged his growth plate in his knee, and they said his leg wouldn't grow. And we went to a powwow. Has anybody here been to a powwow? Quite a few people. Hey, hey. So with that being said, they said he wouldn't be able to walk, so he was really discouraged. And back home, we follow our ceremonial ways. I'm really honored to be here with my ceremony family. We were raised this way. We were very fortunate to have the lodges because they were taken away from so many of us. And because of that, I really have to mention my son is going to perform for you today. And I danced in a sun dance to ask for that healing for my son because he loved to dance. He was initiated the cultural way into the powwow circle. And so we took him to the sun dance. And after that sun dance, my cousin Carrie, put your hand up. Her mom has the right to do the horse dance. It's a very powerful ceremony back home. The horse is one of the most stubborn spirits, and it takes a lot to show that spirit what you want. It doesn't just accept anything. It's a very beautiful stoic spirit that was brought to our people. The Creator brought that horse across to our peoples here in Turtle Island, from what I understand, and her mother was chosen to carry that ceremony. And so my son was not able to walk. And we took him, they told us, take him up there, take your offerings. So we took our offerings, and that was the first time when he made half that circle. By the time he got to the middle, he was starting to walk on his leg, and we cried, we all cried. And today he's able to dance and perform for you. His name is Red Medicine Bear, who walks with the wise ones. He was raised in ceremony. He was raised with these songs that his uncles sing. He's from this Arcan family here. His late Musham, his late grandfather, was Chief Stanley Arcan. He was our chief for many, many, many years, and you all know how hard it is to have a chief sit in a spot unless they really do things good in their communities, live there and work for their communities through our lodges. And so my boy is carrying that today of his Muslim's legacy, still following this cultural way. His own father is dealing with addictions, and every time my son dances, he prays for his dad. And that's the power of our dance here today. Why we're brought all the way to this territory to bring these little messages. You're going to go home with them. And I pray for your families and every single one of you to make it home safely. All your loved ones to make it home to their beds. And so this chicken dance is a healing dance, just like the jingle dress dances. We have a jingle dress dancer here. And so my son was in a wheelchair at a powwow, and this chicken dancer came up to him because remember, this was not our traditional dance. And he was sitting there sad because he wasn't able to dance. And so this chicken dancer came with his rattle right up to my son, right to his damaged knee, and he started hitting his knee, and he backed up on him. He did that to him 4 times to his knee. From that moment forward, my son wanted to dance again. He got his spirit back. That rattle spoke to that chicken dancer because we all know how powerful our sacred objects are. Our drums, our staffs, our rattles, all of those sacred things. It brought his spirit back that he lost. And so from then forward, he said, I want to dance chicken. And he was actually given the right to dance this dance because we can't always just do anything we want to do. We always have to use those protocols. Some things we need to get permission because a lot of this stuff was taken away from us as Indigenous peoples. And so with that being said, today he is dancing this dance with that permission. He was pushed in there and said, go show it and go help heal everybody. So when he performs, hold your left hand up and pray for the people that you love. Pray for the ones who are suffering with addiction, for the ones who are so caught up in their trauma and the things they've experienced in residential school. Hold your left hand up when our singers sing here. Same thing with the jingle dress dance. You can do that. You bring that home to your family. You bring that goodness. So with that being said, I can talk here all day and I'm not going to do that. Hi, nanas, nanas, sinhala.
Hello, hello. Ready?